of every cricketer, the ultimate glory. Few manage to keep their date with destiny, but for many, it's been heartbreaks and a cross to bear. The Holy Grail is here in India. I'm Rupha Ramani, and Firstpost brings you the ringside view. We bring you the Cup of Dreams, Cricket World Cup coverage like never before.
The champion!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here.
Hi, how are you doing today? I'm Rupha Ramani, and you're watching Firstpost. Now, yesterday we spoke about the brutality of sport. Today it's the bond that builds a campaign, that strengthens a team and the members who are a part of it. A good vibe can always pull off a great win. How important is team bonding in a campaign such as the World Cup? We look at what the Indian cricket team is doing differently compared to some of the others across the years and various sporting disciplines too. And speaking of doing things differently, the Australian cricket team, from being in the doldrums, seems like they're suddenly finding their feet again. Yes, it was a win against Netherlands, but what a convincing victory that. Smiles all around and loud laughs, all thanks to one man. Finally setting the stage on fire, Glenn Maxwell. And there's some football lined up on the show too. Just who are our frontrunners for the Ballon d'Or this year? You'll just have to wait and see. But before all that, let's quickly tell you all that's making the news across the world of sports in Sports 360. In football, Manchester City beat the Swiss club Young Boys 3-1 at the UEFA Champions League. The game was goalless in the first half. Man City scored first in the 48th, with the Young Boys equalising just 4 minutes later. Then striker Erling Haaland scored a double to secure a comfortable win for Man City. Spanish giants Barcelona beat Ukrainian club Shakhtar Donetsk 2-1 in yesterday's match. Ferran Torres scored for Barca in the 28th minute. Just 8 minutes later, Barcelona scored their second goal on a strike from Fermin Lopez. In the second half, Shakhtar Donetsk scored one goal to close down the margin in the loss. French club Paris Saint-Germain took on Italian side AC Milan in a Champions League match last night. PSG cruised past Milan 3-0 as Kylian Mbappe scored the first goal for the French side. The other two PSG goals came in the second half from Randall Muani and Lee Kang-in. In tennis, world number 2 Carlos Alcaraz says he's recovering well from his back injury. Alcaraz took to social media to announce that he will play in the Paris Masters. The Spaniard said, and I quote, "I'm feeling better every day and I'm excited to finish this year on a high." The Paris Masters begins from the 28th of October. Over in cricket, Indian all-rounder Hardik Pandya has been ruled out of the upcoming match against England. Last week, Pandya suffered a ligament tear in his foot during India's match against Bangladesh. He continues to recover from the injury and will undergo a fitness test. If Pandya is declared unfit, he will also have to miss India's next clash thereafter against Sri Lanka in the first week of November. India, of course, faces England this Sunday in the city of Lucknow. Now, what can help you win matches? Great strategy, yes. Lot of focused practice sessions, good captaincy, solid team combinations. A little bit of luck too. But what helps you win a tournament? That one additional ingredient that will trump all of this: team bonding. A long tournament truly tests your character and that of the teams. You can't win all matches, and you don't want to lose too many either. The state of the mind is often what makes all the difference during this time. Not being overconfident after a win and not getting too bogged down after a loss either can just make a world of difference at such a tournament as the World Cup. And the only way the mind can be at ease is if every member of the team is enjoying the journey and the process, reveling in each other's success and pulling each other up after a fall. The Indian cricket team has been looking in high spirits. Yes, sure, winning certainly helps in maintaining a happy dressing room, but it's what you are doing from the start to keep that vibe up is what can set the tone, and then wins or losses don't really matter. They started the medal ceremony ritual after every match, where the fielding coach gives a medal to the best fielder of the day, and each time the reveal was just that much more unique. It's gone viral, with fans now looking forward to the next game just to find out who the winner would be and how they would be announced. It was on the big screen one day, through the Spidey cam another day. It's obviously developed a very healthy competition amongst the team. And this right after they had a woeful fielding collapse in the Asia Cup. A lot of misfields, a lot of drop catches. Now even the players are reveling in it, enjoying it. Jaddu and Shreyas even indicated that they were winners after they caught a stunning catch during the match. What a way to build a great energy in that dressing room. The team decided to stay back in Dharamshala with their families after the match against New Zealand. They went to the waterfalls, enjoyed nature. The support staff went up on a hike. There were also apparently a ramp walk in the hotel where players walked the ramp for some laughter and fun. We don't know who came out winner, but this is definitely a new Team India, a team enjoying the pressure of a tournament rather than crumbling under it. A tournament that they know they haven't won now since 2011. And that campaign too was special because the man in charge back then, coach Gary Kirsten, also believed in building a strong team atmosphere. Kirsten was coming in after the Indian team's not so happy experiences with foreign coaches. We all know how that Greg Chappell saga went down. And Gary Kirsten turned it all around. Not just the perception in the dressing room of working with a foreign coach, but also out in the public. The genuine affection that the Indian team was developing with Gary Kirsten was seen by all. He brought in Arctic explorer Mike Horn, who just would spend time with the Indian cricketers talking about his personal experiences, about his life and his adventures, getting the players to just not think about the cricket and interact with someone who had seen it all in another sphere. And Gary later on said that that was the X factor, that helped. It was a different way of team bonding and setting the right tone. Kirsten and the others did that with Gujarat Titans as well, the IPL franchise. Being a part of that setup for a season, I can tell you that they valued team bonding. They organized sessions where every player's story was showcased. Everyone was important, whether in the playing 11 or otherwise. They held small get-togethers to distribute caps with numbers to signify the very first players of that franchise. Different teams, of course, do different things to get a sync going in such a long tournament. The New Zealand cricket team that we thought was coming in jaded have really managed to turn things around. And this despite certain things not going their way, like Kane Williamson's injury. But they have managed to keep the energy and the positive vibes very close.
Oh, massively. We're here for a long time, so thankfully we all like each other. That helps. We've been together for a long time, this group. We've played a lot of cricket together, so exactly like you said, back off the field, having fun and enjoying it. It's a World Cup. You get to play for your country in a world event. We're here in India, massive cricket festival. It doesn't get much better than that. So I think for us as a group, something we really enjoy is coffee at home. So we've got our coffee machine. We set that up in the team room, and pretty much an open door policy with guys coming in and out all day. Some guys think their latte art's a little bit better than others. Some just happy to have a coffee. So I think that's probably a bit of a centre point for this group. It's nice to just always walk in knowing there's someone in there having a laugh. So I think that's one of the things we like to do off the field.
Well, the smiles say it all, don't they? You know, that's what a happy dressing room looks like. You know, we saw in the Asia Cup when Pakistan exited the tournament, the vibe, the news that was coming out of it, all of despondency. That's what happens when the dressing room atmosphere doesn't keep up despite the wins or the losses. Now, some teams do activities like treks or boot camps. The Australian cricket team famously had a boot camp ahead of the Test series against India in 2011. Now, that was something coach John Buchanan had popularized back in 2006 when he had devised a boot camp ahead of their Ashes series. I don't quite know if everyone took to it quite as much though, but some teams do a lot of fun activities instead for players and coaches to loosen up and bond together. Indian women's hockey coach Yannick Schopman, in an interview here recently, spoke about how they managed to go past the language barrier to have fun and get to know each other better through games and some key tools to build and strengthen their communication off the field, which is so much more important.
For me, it's important to listen to the players, to listen to the staff, to get their inputs. I'm not Indian. I've lived there for a while now, but some things it's just hard for me to understand culturally, the background, the language in itself, of course. So what I've done from the start, or tried to do, is to give the players a voice and just say, look, you have to help me a little bit here. What do you guys need? What do you guys want? And we have a leadership group typically. So 4 of the girls organized a team activity. And what was really fascinating, so we were doing a variation of charades, I call it, because we're with a big group. And but they were kind of enjoying it themselves. And then they made up new rules. And they're like, no, wait a minute, we do a break. And then they are like, no, now you have to say something about the person next to you, but it can't be hockey related. So you have to say something that you like about this person. So, and we started doing that, which is quite hard actually. So that was a lot of fun.
A lot of this, of course, comes from the top. It also comes from the support staff. They say a great score is reflective of the hours you've put in prepping before the test. Similarly, the efforts and the smiles on the field is a result of that, of all the work that goes in to keep the smiles on, off the field, in the dressing rooms. Now, moving on, it's a face-off that is going to be an exciting one. It's in Chennai's Chepauk Stadium in India. Pakistan versus South Africa. Both these sides have had some close encounters in ODI World Cup so far. They've played each other 5 times and the record is 3-2 in South Africa's favour. Pakistan is coming off a shocking loss against Afghanistan and are looking for a win to turn things around. South Africa stamped its class over Bangladesh and are looking to keep that momentum intact. And one man who will be, of course, hoping to get a go in Chennai will be Tabraiz Shamsi. In My Cup today, we bring you an interview that we did with Tabraiz himself. Spoke to him a while back about his form, his art, and of course, the South African campaign. Take a listen. I'm joined by Tabraiz Shamsi, quite the live wire in the South Africa cricket dressing room. Thank you so much for taking your time out. Tabraiz, first question. We know you started out as a fast bowler and then made the switch to spin. How and why did that happen?
Yeah, so obviously being from South Africa, we have a proud history of fast bowlers. So naturally as a kid, when you're playing cricket, you want to be a fast bowler, right? So I wasn't any different. But when I got to high school, we had our trials for under 14 cricket. And, the coaches just came and put their arms around me and they said, look, listen, unfortunately, my boy, you don't bowl quick enough to be a fast bowler. My dreams of wanting to open the bowling for South Africa and playing cricket for South Africa were sort of shattered at that stage. And that's the reason I started bowling spin. They suggested, look, you got to try and maybe bowl spin. You might be good at that. And thankfully, they did that, because if they didn't, I wouldn't be here right now.
Speaking of fast bowlers, you overtook Dale Steyn as the highest wicket taker for South Africa as far as T20 format is concerned. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing that I'm ahead of somebody like that. He's obviously a legend of the game. But I'm just happy that I've been able to sort of do the job that I'm supposed to do for my team and for my country, and hopefully many more to come.
What is your mindset really when you go up against some of the best batters? We know you, like you said, you've taken some very key wickets. Is there a mental battle there when you're going up against the best in the world?
Yeah, look, if you look at the squads that all the teams have assembled, there are 4 or 5 top batters in each team. So there's going to be no easy batsman that I'm going to come across. But if I have to pick a couple of players, I would love to bowl against Rohit Sharma. Baba Azam, that's another guy. So I would love to get those 2 guys out, hopefully, if I get an opportunity to play against them and bowl against them. And another guy would probably be Shreyas Iyer. The last time I was here in India, we've got this little healthy little competition between each other. We're quite friendly off the field, but on the field, we're intense against each other. So in South Africa, I got him out when I was here in India the last time. He smashed me around. So yeah, that's I'm looking forward to that. Again, it's that challenge that pumps you up. I know, he's going to be looking to go after me, and I'm going to be looking to get his wickets. So really looking forward to that challenge as well. And obviously, once the game's done, we can have a bit of banter off the field.
Speaking about those battles, you're also very keen and involved when it comes to the celebrations. You've got your own unique style. We know the story. Is that part of your psyche, especially when it comes to bowling in such a high pressure situation?
Yeah, absolutely. Because look, we start playing this game because we love it, right? We're having fun when we're playing in the street with our friends and stuff like that. And then it becomes all professional and it's your job and everything becomes serious. So that fun element like gets out of your game, which I don't want to ever lose. And just the fact, you're bowling because you want to take wickets, you want to take big wickets. So when you're going up against these top quality batters and they have the ability to smash you all over the park, and sometimes they hit you for a 6 or 2. Obviously it makes you upset inside, because you want to compete, you want to get the wicket. So eventually, when you get that, all those emotions and all of that comes out because you respectfully competed against each other. He's probably smashed you once or twice, and then you get him out. So that's sort of that. Just the element of competition and fierceness that comes out. And I see nothing wrong with that because we're working so hard. The batsman's trying to win the game for his country. I'm trying to win the game for my country. So, yeah, I think if that element goes out of my game, that, it won't be enjoyable.
Right. As always, it's always been a pleasure speaking to you, and we love every bit of all of that your entire team puts out for us. But thank you so much for joining us, Tabraiz, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Keep up.
All right, switching focus now. Australia's campaign, however, looks like it's back on track. Sure, the win came against Netherlands, but it has been a phenomenal one. Adam Zampa may have finished it off for the Aussies, but it was the big show Maxwell who set it all up. To think Glenn Maxwell was unwell and did not feel like going out to bat. He said he wasn't expecting to hit that 100 because he was cooked. And that makes sense, to be honest, because the Aussies have been overwhelmed at the tournament so far. But just the way you saw the whole dressing room celebrating the Maxwell 100, you knew what this meant to not just him, but the entire unit. They were stoked. Here are the records that he put aside en route that magnificent showing.
In the World Cup, Australia seemed to be rising from the quicksand that they found themselves in briefly. Sure, it came against the Netherlands, but what a power-packed performance it was. And one man in particular stole the show, Glenn Maxwell. He smashed the fastest ODI World Cup century ever yesterday. The all-rounder fired the 100 of just 40 balls. The biggest concern when it comes to Maxwell has been his inconsistency. He's always had the flair, but never backed it quite as much with the numbers, even for his Indian Premier League franchises. But this knock has seen him break some records. Maxwell's 100 is the fastest in ODI World Cups, overtaking Aiden Makram of South Africa. Makram set his record when South Africa's World Cup campaign began against Sri Lanka. That too at the very same venue just some weeks ago, the Arun Jaitley Stadium in India's capital, New Delhi. Kevin O'Brien and AB de Villiers are among the top 5 fastest to hit a century. But only one name is mentioned in the top 5 twice, and that's Maxwell. It just shows why he can be very, very dangerous. Yesterday's match saw Glenn smash 9 fours and 8 sixes. He helped Australia cap off their 3rd victory at the ICC World Cup. The Aussies were in trouble when the tournament began, but the team is doing some damage control now. And one strong positive from the win last night is of course Maxwell. There's a reason he's nicknamed the Big Show. Maxwell's name is also etched in another list. He's now the 4th batter to hit the fastest 100 in the 50-over format overall. South Africa's AB de Villiers, New Zealand's Corey Anderson and Pakistan's Shahid Afridi are the only batters ahead of him. Maxwell scripted another record too. He walked into bat in the 40th over of the innings. At 39.1 to be precise, that's the latest entry point a batter has stepped in and gone on to score a century. The previous record was set by AB de Villiers, who stepped onto the crease at 38.4 overs. Maxwell's gutsy show doesn't only mean resurrection for the Aussies, it also reiterates what an asset he can be when he gets going. No wonder Captain Pat Cummins backed him hard during an ODI series against India when he was meeting his comeback from injury. Next, Australia face a stern test. They'll take on New Zealand in another chapter of the Trans-Tasman rivalry.
And of course, the latest update from the Cricket World Cup is that England has slumped to another defeat, and this at the hands of Sri Lanka. This happened at Bengaluru, and they've lost by 8 wickets. The key chief destructor for the bowling side while they were bowling was, of course, Lahiru Kumara, 3 for 35 to reduce England's total to 156, and in response, they were quite solid. Pathum Nissanka scoring a 50 there, 77 runs. Sadira Samara Vikrama with 65 runs to just take them home with a lot of time to spare. So that is big trouble, and we'll decode this tomorrow, of course, on Firstpost. All right, moving on. Football's most awaited awards are knocking on the doors. The Ballon d'Or 2023 winner will be announced on October 30th. And there are 2 names that has left the fans divided. But could Lionel Messi pocket the prestigious award this time? And over in the women's category, can Aitana Bonmati bring back some sheen to Spanish football in the middle of the kiss controversy that the country is embroiled in? Take a look.
The Ballon d'Or 2023 awards ceremony is just 4 days away. So who are the fan favourites and who are the formidable contenders? We reveal all of those here and everything else you need to know about football's most prestigious award. Messi is vying for his record 8th crown. He's back again after being excluded from the 2022 nominations. The Argentine star is a hot favourite and leads the list. He helmed Argentina and led them to victory last year, and they won the World Cup in Qatar. Even in the latest FIFA rankings, Argentina sit on top of the list. Messi currently captains the US football team, Inter Miami. But who can stop Messi from winning the trophy? Let's look at some of the few nominees this year. There are a total of 30 candidates vying for the title. These are some of the renowned names on the shortlist. Messi's closest rival seems to be Man City's Erling Haaland. He scored 52 goals for Man City in all competitions last season. Despite the utter confusion of his stay at PSG, Mbappe is also on the list. Karim Benzema and Luka Modric are some of the other formidable competitors. In the larger context, though, the debate is in Messi's favour. He has the most number of golden balls to his credit. He's 36 and has no intentions of retiring anytime soon. And hopes of featuring in Euro 2024 as well. If that's not convincing enough, Cristiano Ronaldo has picked his name, saying the 2023 Ballon d'Or should go to Messi. Now let's look at some of the favourites from the female category. A new winner can be expected, and that can be a Spaniard. 2-time defending champion Alexia Putellas is out of the running. Aitana Bonmati was conferred the Golden Ball Award at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. She was also named the UEFA Player of the Year. For Aitana, this win could make up for all the turmoil Spanish football is going through post the World Cup win. Aitana has seen how women's achievements have been undermined by the brazen sexism present in the Spanish Football League. The recent World Cup kiss scandal has shattered them. And Aitana will look to bring some glory back to her people and football fans back home.
Time now for last serve then, our parting shot. Now I'm wondering who will end up landing the parting punch. Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou held open workouts to pump up the fans ahead of the Battle of the Baddest. It's being held in Riyadh. Take a look. That wraps it up here on Firstpost. Thanks for staying with us here. But as always, keep watching our coverage, our exclusive coverage of the Cricket World Cup only on the Cup of Dreams here on Firstpost. For now, though, I'm going to say bye-bye and I'll see you again tomorrow.